Hello everyone, I hope you're doing great and that your week has been going amazingly well. I've been doing great, super busy, but only in a positive way. There's so many projects and amazing things that are happening that I will be sharing with you as we go. So thank you for being in my space. Thank you for following me. I'm very happy to have you here with me, and feel free to reach out for any questions you might have, any challenges you might be facing in your career. We can solve for those together. Now, what we're going to do today is I am recording another Q&A session. I have been receiving a lot of questions from you, so please keep doing that. I'm very happy to keep serving you, keep offering my knowledge, my experience, my views, and I hope that you can use those when dealing with different situations you might be encountering in your career. Now, before I go into answering those questions, I have them here in front of me. I wanted to quickly reflect on my recent post on my regular LinkedIn profile, where I'm talking about strategy and mindset and work on both of those, because essentially that is really what my work as a coach is based around. This is what I'm working with my clients on, and I wanted to offer a few thoughts for you here as well. So one of the things that I see a lot is that when you work on a certain goal, right? When you have set for yourself that you want to find a new job, or you want to get a promotion, or you want to work on a specific project, or you want to have a specific conversation with your colleague, or you want to upskill, or you want to boost your performance, really whatever it is, I see a lot of individuals kind of adding more and more things to their schedule, being constantly on the go, being very busy, and having even that kind of negatively impacts their mental health, only to find themselves to be continuously reaching same roadblocks and not seeing long-term sustainable and healthy progress and results. And that is because you get stuck in doing, strategizing, action taking, without working on your mind at the same time, without working on how to manage your mind or learning how to manage your mind, so that when certain things come your way, which they will, it's just a matter of time, right? We always have different obstacles and challenges and ups and downs and moments when you don't feel like doing it and mood swings and all those kind of things, right? So all that strategy, all that action that you're taking without learning how to manage your mind, without working on your mind at the same time, will result in not seeing these results that you want, right? So my point here is that while you're working on that strategy, while you're taking action, it is so very important to be working on your mind at the same time. So is it by following different tools and frameworks that you can find online? Is it getting support from a professional? Is it finding an accountability partner? Is it getting that extra perspective, getting that accountability for yourself? Whatever it is, you want to be working on up-leveling your mindset all the time, at the same time while putting yourself out there and taking action. And that is true for no matter what level in your career you might be. No matter, it doesn't matter where you are, no matter how senior you are, no matter what your goals might be, your mind, your brain is something that constantly needs ongoing attention and work, right? So if you think about it, just like we work, let's say, on our bodies, right? You go to the gym to do your body fitness. We need to have that kind of gym, so to say, for our brain as well. So if you're interested in learning more about mindset work, in understanding how to work on the strategy and mindset at the same time, coaching might be an amazing thing for you to explore. So if you'd like us to explore that, if you would like to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me. We can have a free consult call where we're going to talk about where you're at, where you wish to be, how I can potentially help you, and I'm going to give you a few new perspectives, few new ideas for you to how you can move on. All right? Okay, now with that being said, let's go and answer some of your questions. All right, so one of the questions that I received was, is it possible to recover from a burnout without resigning from the role and field that caused it? All right. So I would say two things here. First thing is that yes, it is possible. I have seen it myself. But then on the same side or at the same time, I would be very like, I would explore obviously what has caused the burnout specifically, right? To understand the best way forward. I also want to point out when it comes to burnout, I believe it's a very delicate subject, a very delicate topic to potentially be kind of working on yourself or with someone who isn't trained and equipped to help you. So if you are experiencing a situation where you feel like you're burnt out or that you are, that the environment and everything that's happening in your career and life, right, is feeling very, very heavy and you aren't sure how to deal with that, I would highly recommend you go and talk to someone who is trained and equipped to help you. Okay. So again, not something that, is kind of, well, let's see about that, but definitely something that should be addressed. All right. So another question that I have here is, I started the job 3 weeks ago and I know that I don't like it. Let me just, okay. So what is the acceptable time for me to be looking for the roles again? All right. So if you're in a situation where you've started a new job and you know already that this is not the right environment, this is not the right job, the right time for you to start working on changing that is yesterday, right? Or now. Now, before we go into that, I just want to point out, I would really, really explore what makes you feel like this is not the right job for you. Like go deeper there, right? When you say it's not the right thing, think about what specifically isn't right and how would it look for you for it to be right, right? Because you want to explore before we just go out and kind of continue searching and look for different roles. I would stop quickly and reflect, is there anything in this current position that you can do to make it the right thing for yourself, right? So sometimes that means that you can do something without kind of involving anyone else, or it can mean that you want to talk to your manager so that you can explore different ideas and see if there is really nothing that can be done for you to then feel this is the right space for you, okay? Apart from that, if this truly isn't the right space for you, you might want to start looking around again. Now, the next question you might have now is, but how will that look like in the next interview? For me to be kind of switching jobs so frequently and so forth. There is always a way to address that, right? So you can go along the lines of that you have started this new job opportunity. However, unfortunately, it became very visible for you very soon that this isn't exactly how you expected it to be or how you imagined it to be. You have tried, you have explored different opportunities with your manager, but unfortunately there is no clear line or clear path for you to move forward, and therefore you're back on the job market. Right? Something along those lines. I'm just kind of coming up with these things as we go, but this is the point, right? To show that you are aware of what's happening, you have tried to change that, there is no opportunity, and therefore you have option to kind of stay there and hope for better times, or to take on ownership, take responsibility, and start taking action so that you can go out and change that, okay? By the way, if you have any more questions as we go through this, please feel free to comment below or message me and I will be happy to elaborate more. Okay. All right, the next one. Should I discuss the salary at the beginning of the interview process? Yes, why not? Right? Why not? Like, this is not something that, should be a secret or something that you should be bad talking about. This is definitely a huge big thing that in most instances is, can be a deal breaker, right? So to save your time, to save their time, why not to be transparent about that from the very beginning, right? Like I would actually ask, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to talk about that, right? That's not to say like, that's it, I'm set and that's it. Or let me put it this way, rewind. you can go kind of two ways about that. You can be like, this is it. This is kind of non-negotiable for me. I mean, obviously you wouldn't say like, like that these exact words, but this is just for you to kind of understand where I'm coming from. Like, this is non-negotiable for me. My salary expectations is at least that. But I am open to discussing maybe certain other points, right? So just to kind of maybe show if you are open to negotiation on certain points, to kind of set those expectations from the very, very beginning, right? But apart from that, why wouldn't you want to disclose that information, especially if that is so very important for you? If you aren't sure about your salary expectations, and if you want to hear them first, and you are like, I don't know, it's not so very important for me, then of course there are other ways to approach it, right? But I would not talk about that, right? Like, I think it's definitely one of those points to talk about from the very beginning, so that you kind of prevent any surprises later on in the process. Especially, and also, right, especially if the gap between what you expect and they expect or they can offer is too big, right? If the gap is small, you might want to negotiate and talk about it more, right? But if the gap is too big, you want to ask yourself, how open would you be actually to negotiating it, right? Is it okay to tell your manager in a professional manner that you need better management from them? 100%, of course, right? Just as they are giving you a feedback, you also should feel comfortable in giving them a feedback, right? Obviously, from a professional, respectful, and clear point of view, right? So when you say, I need better management from my manager, I would firstly stop and ask myself, like, what does that specifically mean? Okay, so how would better management look like for you? Okay, so that you can, of course, acknowledge them for their support and everything, how you have been working so far, and then talk about potentially maybe certain ideas that you have in terms of how they can be even a better manager for you than they already are, right? So I would always start by saying, again, acknowledging their great work and talking about what works. And then I would go into, all right, so there are a few things that I wanted us to discuss. This is how I have been feeling, or this is how I have been perceiving certain things. These are potential solutions that I could offer. What do you think about that, right? So that you make it a conversation, and so that it doesn't come across as if you're attacking them or judging them, or not being maybe thankful for their guidance and support so far, right? So again, start by getting clear on what better management from your manager means to you, okay? And really focus also on what has been working, focus on the facts, focus on how you have been working so far, and then go into, these are maybe some other suggestions, and then kind of, what do you think, right? It's a two-way conversation. You are engaging them, okay? Okay, what do you think about taking a pay cut when changing the job? All right, so, I mean, it really, there is no right response here, right? It really comes down to, what would that pay cut mean to you? Like, what would you make pay cut mean to you? How would that feel for you, right? And I would also get curious about, what impact would that pay cut have on your lifestyle as well, right? Also, when you think about, okay, I mean, salary obviously is important, but is it the most important thing? Like, even if you were to take a pay cut in the next job, let's think about long term. Let's think about how that specific position or company can impact your career thinking long term, right? So, because pay cut does not necessarily mean you're kind of going back in your career. You know what I mean, right? Like, again, it could be a pay cut now, which is going to result in so many other incredible benefits long-term looking, right? So you want to just explore again, what would that mean to you? And long-term looking, how does that position and company, what role will it play in your career? So these are the things I actually wrote down here. Oh yeah. And one more thing actually that I noted here would be like, what could be alternatives for that, like to that? Okay, because especially when we are looking for a job, sometimes I see people kind of getting too stuck to one option. Let's remember there are plenty of options out there, right? We need to create those options for ourselves. So what could be alternative for you in terms of that role, in terms of that company? Maybe there is a way for you to have a similar situation without a decrease in your pay cut, decrease in your pay, sorry, decrease in your salary, okay? All right, let me see if there is anything else here. Yeah, that's it actually. That's it for now. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to send them my way. I'm going to get back to you. I think it's always, I obviously respond to these messages also kind of privately, but I also think it's very important to bring them here because maybe you are in a similar situation, or maybe you will be in a similar situation, and this is going to give you some ideas for you to consider, right? So it's always very, very useful to share this with a group, to share the knowledge, to share successes so that we can keep learning from each other. So again, any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I wish you a wonderful rest of the week, and I'm going to talk to you soon. Bye.